So I know that there's a NLP for Dummies book out there as well, so there's other sources for that.
I can handle that one. Okay, so what we ended up with was we were talking about what does a day in the life look like for these folks. So now we want to get to, within that typical day, what are the two, and you got to limit it to two, what are the two most important things you guys do in your life, in your day, every day, to advance your business? Jeff, start with you, Chip.
The two most important things I do, I'd start with number one. No matter what is happening, no matter how many closings, no matter how many deals are falling apart, no matter how many people are mad at me, I still have to make new contacts for business every single day, no matter what. And I can't get caught up in the drama of a transaction or a closing going sideways. I have to generate new business every single day. If I don't, I'll be out of business 90 days from now. So although working on today's deal is going to get me paid today or tomorrow or next week, I'm actually more focused on working on the deal that's going to come to me in 90 days, which is making the new contacts. That would be number one. Number two thing would be, it goes back to, it sounds so basic, we're all saying something similar to this. If I get knocked off my schedule, then nothing else will take place. Meaning, if I get knocked off my schedule, or I let something interrupt my schedule, then that will hurt me 90 days from now. So it's the making new contacts every day and staying on my schedule every day.
Sue?
For me, it's two things. Also looking for new business, and by keeping my current investors satisfied, it's a bit of a way of prospecting. When somebody can send you 20 to 50 to 100 listings, that, doing the negotiations that are necessary to get the contracts accepted by both parties takes a lot of my days, so that really would be number one. And number two is looking for new business, whether that's repeat business from existing customers or new business from other sources.
Mark?
Yeah, it's kind of redundant. Obviously, you got to look for new business every single day. But number two is working on my business instead of in my business. What I mean by that is every day I'm looking, spending at least an hour a day, and it's time blocking, just like Martin said, but trying to find a way to improve the overall business, trying to find a way to maybe tweak the listing presentation a little bit, trying to find maybe a new postcard that's going to make the phone ring a little bit better. Just standing back from the business and trying to figure out how you can make yourself or your business a little bit better. So I think we all get caught up every day working in the business. I would say spend a little bit of time every week trying to figure out how to work on your business.
You mean sharpening your axe?
Yeah.
I think probably the most important thing I do is every night before I go to bed, like I said, I work off this just do it form, and it's got listings taken, listings sold, buyer agent. I mean, it's got all these different dollar productive activities. It's got my schedule, the to-do list, the number of calls made. I plan my whole day before I go to bed. So I'll say, okay, you know what? I need to call 10 people. Sometimes I'll even put down the names of people I need to call. These are the things I have to follow up on. These are the contracts that we're negotiating. So it's all visually in front of me. So when I walk in the office in the morning, I know exactly what to do. I get right to the gun. I've noticed if I don't do that, you know how a lot of times you think, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And you get in the office and you get pulled this way, that way, and all of a sudden, guess what, at the end of the day, you didn't do any of those things. And then you say, oh my God, I gotta do that. It's like, so I find that if you don't have that kind of focus, your day just totally disappears. So that's the most important thing I do. I'd say the next important thing is I absolutely focus every single day on making 10 phone calls. I don't care how busy I am, I don't care, like Jeff said, I don't care if deals are falling apart, I'm gonna make those 10 phone calls every single day.
So, every one of you, lead generating, prospecting, making phone calls, contacts for it is one of the two most important things you do. And that's probably good for us as well, right? The rest of us. What's that saying? Success leaves clues, so does failure. Okay. Good. Thank you. So now, again, I'm a new agent, or I'm an agent that's certainly not at your level. I'm an agent that's maybe struggling, maybe I'm a little disenchanted with what's going on in the world and in the environment and in the market and in the real estate industry. What is the one thing I can do, what's the most important thing I should do every day? One thing that can change my world. Mark, start with you on that one.
Sort of almost, I think the biggest problem in this business is lack of focus and lack of knowing what to do. And that's why sort of like what I got to in the last question is knowing what, wake up, knowing what you're going to do that day. I think what a lot of us do in this business, we sort of work and play 24 hours a day, right? We sort of work and we play at work, we're going coffee, we're talking, we're doing this, so we're not really working. And then we get home, because we didn't really work, we're sort of like with our family, but we're not work, and it's so all day long we're working and playing, as opposed to just going to the office in the morning, knowing exactly what you're going to do, work solidly for 8 hours, and then go home and spend 6 hours with your family or whatever. I think that's probably, one of the most important things I can talk about.
That's great, yeah. Mark?
You know, I think a lot of us are in a business that we really shouldn't be in. This is a sales business. You gotta, either you have the money to buy the business, or you have to earn the business. So if you don't have the money to buy the business, which you could buy the business and grow a great business. But when I started, I didn't have that money. So you gotta earn the business, which means you gotta love going out and talking to people. You gotta love telemarketing. So it's almost like you apply for a telemarketing position, but you hate being on the phone. And so I think that's the biggest problem in this business is people don't want to do what it really takes to make it in this business. It's a real simple business, but people want to avoid it and find the easy solution. If you don't have a lot of money, there is no easy solution. So you just got to get on the phone and call people. I did it for 5 years, and I finally got to the point where I could spend some money and start buying the business. But for 5 years, I was on the phone, and my net profit was probably 90% of what I made, meaning I only spent 10% because it was all on the phone.
Great. Sue?
I would say every day, ask yourself, what is the #1 dollar-making productive activity that I can do with my time? And depending upon where you're at with your business, if you have none, it will be lead generation, looking for that business. If you do have some business, it's looking at how do I get this deal closed? Asking for referrals from your current clients so that you can get new business. It may be previewing a neighborhood so that you know that neighborhood a little bit better and can go to your next listing appointment with some confidence because you've actually seen their competition that's on the market. So again, just ask yourself, what can put $1 in my pocket and do those activities that are necessary for you wherever you're at in your business.
Great. I was going to go with what Mark was saying, and that's have almost a love affair with the art of sales, because we are salespeople. We're not consultants. We're not entrepreneurs. We're salespeople first, and that's really important. And it takes a long time for agents to grasp that. Sometimes we see, but at the end of the day, once you say, you know what, gosh darn it, I'm a salesperson. I'm going to be the best darn salesperson out there. That's when you have arrived, and the business you'll start figuring things out. But and I was just adding on to what Mark said on that. But my thought on whether you're new or you want to do better, think about your whys. Why are you in this? The unfortunate part of this business is there's no immediate gratification. If you make a phone call and set an appointment, your phone doesn't spit out $30. It doesn't spit out money every time you make a contact with someone. So you have to constantly be reminded of why you're doing the daily grind, day in and day out. And having things like a vision board in front of you, carrying it with you, having a clear vision of why you're doing this and what you'll be able to accomplish with the money that you make. Knowing all those things every single day and reminding yourself of those things every single day is the fuel that's going to keep you going when you say, you know what, I just can't do it. I just can't do it today. So I would say definitely have your goals, your visions, everything in front of you. Put deadlines on them. Don't just have pictures. Put deadlines on them of when you'd like to accomplish them by. Draw out a map of exactly what it's going to cost and how many transactions you'd have to do to get it, and work from there. But definitely keep your whys in front of you.
That's, again, a common theme I think I heard right there was Mark started with focus, and all the way through that, Mark, that whole know thyself thing and maybe you don't belong in this industry, or maybe there's a niche in this industry that's better suited for your personality profile or skills, right? But all the way through that, I was surprised. I didn't expect to hear the common theme of focus and knowing what you're doing from a goal-setting and vision standpoint. I don't know if anyone else thought this. It was to me. Okay, Jeff, what separates you from your competition? Why you?
I think for me, I can't speak for everybody out there, but I just know that I spend an immense amount of time sharpening my axe on my sales skills. And for me, in terms of getting business, and for my clients in terms of getting results, wouldn't you want somebody that spends the most time and effort and energy on sharpening their sales skills? Exactly, and I think that for me, that's where I spend most of my time.
I market my background, which is a little bit different than most real estate agents. I do have a PhD, and for a lot of people that'll mean, okay, I have the research so I can find the numbers or whatever we need to make sure there's good market analysis or whatever we need to keep that deal together. The negotiating skills from teaching college classes in negotiation and bargaining, thinking outside of the box to get deals closed. And in this market, you do have to be sometimes pretty creative with bringing buyers and sellers together in this, and I bring those skills to the deal, and I also have a very strong work ethic and enthusiasm, and I think people detect that.
Mr. Seller, I'm here because I know the market. You wanted a market expert, right? I've showed you all the market data. Obviously, I know the market better than anybody else. I never claim to be the best real estate agent, but I think I'm the best marketer. You see my signs around town, you see the name. You want a marketer. You want someone to market your home, don't you? By the way I marketed myself, just imagine how I'm going to market your home. I know all the cutting edge technology. Technology is what's selling homes these days. It's all about the internet. I've showed you how we place on the internet. I've showed you what we do on the internet. There's nothing that we won't do to market your home, except for open houses, and I've showed you why open houses don't work. Obviously, I'm the right guy for the job. You ready to sign the contract?
Did you use a script when you dropped your first girlfriend? Money, not you. Mark, again.
The big thing that distinguishes me is my level of service. I'm known for providing a phenomenal level of service. I got a phenomenal team that's got a really good reputation in town. And the other thing is I have, just like Mark, I've got phenomenal market knowledge. I've got data. I study the market a lot. There's phenomenal programs out there that'll help you do that. And that, I can tell you, gets me a lot of business, because there's many times where I will get a listing, there'll be 3 agents that walked in, I give them the lowest price, and I'm right. And I'm able to get the listing because I've shown them so much data that they can't debate me on that. And I can't stress how important market knowledge is. So those are the two.
So, rhetorical question for you guys. Does everybody know your value proposition? Do you know what separates you from the competition? And if not, I think, would you guys agree, they want to go back and they want to spend some time figuring out what that is and being able to articulate it in every conversation they have. Mark?
I mean, everything I do, for those of you that know me in the industry, everything I do is to stand out and be different. When I have sellers come to my office, time management is a big thing, but when they're on that listing presentation, I rub that in their face. Did anybody else ask you to come to the office? Everything I'm doing is to try to be different from everybody else. Because if you're not different, you're just like everyone else. You're going to get dropped in commission. Your contract's not going to be 180 days. I demand 7% commission. We get it on 95% of our listings. If you're not finding a way to be different, then you are just like everybody else. So the bottom line is you have to find ways to be different. When we're on the listing presentation, I'm insisting that they do a pre-inspection. Again, nobody else recommends that they do a pre-inspection. That means have the property inspected, so we can eliminate negotiations later.